Hello, welcome back to the Grape Explorer. Today is quiz time. I'm going to be testing your knowledge of Champagne and the Champagne region, the Champagne history. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm the Grape Explorer. Here I do wine education, product reviews, and lots of wine tasting. Now there's 10 questions to test you today, and stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can win a copy of the Big Wine Quiz book. Before I get started, just want to point out I haven't got champagne in my glass, but I do have Pinot Noir, which of course is one of the berries that contributes to a good glass of champagne. So let's crack on with question number 1. What does non-vintage on a bottle mean? Is it A, that it's not a good bottle? Is it B, that it is from 1 year only? Is it C, that it is created with grapes from multiple vintages? Or is it D, that it only contains Chardonnay? Well, let's get A out of the way, shall we? It's not a good bottle. It doesn't mean that whatsoever. But the other 3 answers can all have an influence on labelling terms that you might see. So if your berries have come from a single harvest and been bottled, you would actually call that vintage. If it's just Chardonnay, you may refer to that as Blanc de Blanc. So the answer here is actually C. It's that it's created from grapes from multiple vintages. Moving along to question 2, a technical term during the production of champagne. What is riddling? Is it adding sugars to the base wine? Is it the term for second fermentation? Is it a blending process? Or is it moving the bottle from a horizontal to inverted vertical position? Again, all things that might happen during the end-to-end process for champagne, all very important parts of the end-to-end process for champagne. Riddling, of course, is the moving of the bottles. Sometimes it's done mechanically on something called a gyro pallet, and traditional houses still do it by hand, so you're moving it from a horizontal to an inverted position. So the correct answer here is D. Question number 3, understanding something of the region of Champagne. The soils of the Champagne region are dominated by what? Is it A, chalk? Is it B, clay? Is it C, sand? Or is it D, limestone? Quite a tricky one, I think, actually, simply because you find all of these soil types throughout France. But really, when it comes to Champagne and the domination within the soils, we're talking about chalk, so that's answer A. Moving on to question 4, what's your history of champagne knowledge like? Producing champagne exclusively since 1729, which of the following is the oldest house? Is it A, Ruinart? Is it B, Tassinger? Is it C, Bollinger? Or is it D, Piper Heidsieck? Now I deliberately use the word exclusively as part of my question because champagne houses actually date back a lot further than 1729. You can almost go back to sort of mid-16th century. But when it comes to the first house that was exclusively producing sparkling wine, we are talking about Ruinart, which is answer A. Okay, question 5, another technical question for you. Very WSET style question, this one. Vintage wines must be matured for a minimum of how long? Is it A, 12 months? Is it B, 24 months? Is it C, 36 months? Or is it D, 48 months? Again, this all comes down to the specific laws that are in place. Doesn't mean you have to do it for only this period of time. And in fact, a lot of sparkling wines made in Champagne will be aged for much longer than this. But the minimum term that you're allowed to age your wines for is 36 months, and that is answer C. Alright, question 6, another technical part of the champagne production methods. What is Liqueur d'Expedition? Is it A, a mix of sugar and grape spirit? Is it B, a mix of wine and sugar? Is it C, a mix of yeast and grape spirit? Or is it D, a mix of yeast and sugar? So let's start off by asking ourselves, what actually is Liqueur d'Expedition? Well, once a bottle has gone through its riddling and it's part of its second fermentation, the yeast plug is disgorged from the bottle, and Liqueur d'Expedition is used to top up the bottle, and it's actually a mixture of wine and sugar. So those of you who've gone for B have that one correct. Okay, question 7, question about grapes. Which of the following is not used in the production of champagne? Is it A, Petit Verdot? Is it B, Pinot Noir? Is it C, Petit Meunier? Or is it D, Chardonnay? Well, I gave a little bit of this away at the start of the video because I've got Pinot Noir in my glass and I said it was one of the contributing grapes to champagne, so you can discount that one. Chardonnay, of course, is famously used in champagne as well, so is Pinot Meunier. So the odd one out here is A, it's Petit Verdot. Question 8, perhaps the hardest one today. How many Grand Cru villages are there in Champagne? Are there 2, 11, 17 or 24? This one is a tricky one out of all of the questions. It's not something you would necessarily get asked in an exam, but it's just a nice piece of knowledge to have that the answer is 17C. Question 9, and a specific style of sparkling wine made in Champagne. What is a Blanc de Noir champagne? Is it A, white wine made from black grapes? Is it B, a rosé wine made from white grapes? Is it C, a rosé wine made from black grapes? Or is it D, a white wine made in the dark? Might have run out of answers there when it came to D. I do like the idea of producing champagne in the dark, if only to see what would happen. But no, of course that isn't right. Blanc de Noir means white from black. We're talking about a white wine made from black grapes, and that is answer A. And then finally, just a finger in the air question for you all really. On average, how many bottles of champagne are produced each year? Is it 200 million, 300 million, 500 million or 1 billion? I think whatever you go for is your answer here because they're all pretty big numbers. It's an incredible number of champagne bottles that get produced every year. The actual answer is B, it's 300 million, which I still found incredible that they can produce that much year on year and keep doing that. I find it absolutely incredible. So there we are, there's 10 questions about champagne for you. Now, like I said at the start of the video, those of you who stuck around to the end are in with a chance of winning a copy of the Big Wine Quiz Book. Really simple for you to answer. All you need to do is like this video, comment with your score down below, and give me a suggestion about a quiz you'd like to see on this channel. I'll go through them, and one that I really like I will pick out and I'll drop you a comment to say that you've won. So good luck with that. And if you're interested in checking out the book, the link is in the description below. But for now, I'm going to drink my not champagne drink, but I'm going to enjoy this one anyway. Good luck entering the competition, and I'll see you all again soon. Cheers.